this new office, the B6 office. My first question would be, what does B6 stand for?
Well, Max, great to have you here today. Welcome. B6 stands for building by building, block by block. We wanted the name to be a little modern, little techie, but we're also nodding back to an old tagline from our old business.
Tell me a little bit about why you wanted to start this now.
There is a major opportunity in the middle market for investment sales. We also feel like our investment sales specialists really want to be matched up and teamed up with a debt brokerage talent. So we're combining the efforts of our investment sales brokers and debt brokers to bring the clients the best possible service and be a strategic partner to the clients.
You feel that this is the case even though the middle market in terms of investment sales has been a little bit off by a lot of the data that I've seen this year?
You know, you can't time the market. We love this niche of the business. I agree that it's been off. It's been off for a couple of years. People typically will hold their buildings long term because of you pay a big tax load to sell. So people try and hang on long term, but what we're going to see happen is people who don't want to wait anymore, who life decisions have to be made, people are retiring, estates need to be settled. So we're looking at an uptick, I believe, in the investment sales market during the next year. So that'll be nice timing for us, some wind at our back. I think that if you look at the middle market space, again, it's super profitable. It's and right now, the way it's organized, there's no one in a dominant market share position, right? So there's a market share grab opportunity. If you look at on the building sales side, there are about 3,500 buildings that sell every year in New York City, and about 500 of them are handled by a top 10 brokerage firm. So there's about 3,000 sales that happen in the New York metro market that are either handled by someone who are not in the top 10 or are sold off market. So I believe there's a barn door wide open for someone to grab market share in the middle market space. On the debt side, people sell their buildings once every 39 years in New York, so that there are 200,000 buildings, but there are 3,500 sales. But people, if they're not selling, they refinance their properties every 4 or 5 years. So on an annual basis, there are 16,000 debt transactions in the New York City market, and only about 2,000 of those 16,000 are handled by a top 10 firm. Again, either debt transaction handled by somebody who isn't in the top 10, or somebody just doesn't shop their loan and goes to their local relationship bank. So I think we can bring a lot of value to those people by showing them that their money should be cheaper, that they should consider what their options are when they're placing debt in their property. And again, 14,000 transactions. Some people are asking us, you're going to go up against some experienced players in the debt business, and I say no. I say we could not impact those people at all and chase those 14,000 transactions that are out there and do very, very well. So we expect to quickly gain market share in the debt brokerage space.
Paul, this is not the first time you've started a business. You've done it once before. Tell me how it's comparing to when you started Massey Knakal.
There's really no comparison. When Bob Knakal and I started Massey Knakal, it was him and me and an assistant and one salesman, and we were in a two-room office with pink shag carpet on 52nd Street. And right now we've got 25 people in management and staff. We're onboarding a dozen teams right now, so we have pushing 50 people operating in this space right now, and intending to grow rapidly. So it's a whole new experience. Our CFO, Mike Willody, talks about the fact that this is not a startup, but what we like to call a charge up. Bob and I did 4.5 years at CBRE back when we left CB when he was 26 and I was 28, and that was a fantastic experience. We were too young to know any better, too young to know probably what we were doing. We probably should have stuck around CB and watched how they manage a business because they're especially great at managing their business. But I think starting out new on our own was an experience a lot of people should have. I think that that entrepreneurial spirit, that drive to create a business is something we should foster more in the industry, in the city, and we had a fantastic time.
It also seems like it has been a pretty opportune moment just with a lot of people who are looking for stuff. I mean, how has that process been?
Yeah, that's been great. The first thing we did is lean heavily on some of our old friends who know how to run this type of business. So we've got our former COO of Massey Nackle, Neil Heilberg here. I mentioned Mike Willody. We've got some of the management talent from our old business who have come back to help, which is really great. On the recruiting side, there's a lot of transition out there right now. We're talking to a lot of different folks, and people, they see the value of this middle market business and want to be involved.
Mm-hmm. Now, tell us a little bit about why you left Cushman and Wakefield. Obviously, your contract was up, but was there any attraction to the idea of, staying with a, bigger firm rather than starting something just from scratch?
Yeah, well, so first let me say that Cushman and Wakefield treated me like gold. I've got a lot of friends over there, vice chairman, chairman, long-term friends. John Santora, who runs the New York operation, is a fantastic guy. Cushman let me chase some political aspirations. They didn't have to do that, but they said it was leadership and it was public service, and I got to do that, and I'm forever be grateful. But when I hit the inflection point of what do I want to do next, I talked to a lot of our competitors and friends and kept coming back to this opportunity where in the middle market investment sales and debt brokerage space, there is a huge market share opportunity. It's also a super profitable end of the business. When we sold Massey Nackle, we were operating on a 13% EBITDA margin, which is very healthy, very profitable, and we were accretive to most of the public companies that were interested in buying us. So we want to be in that space. We think it's a great space. The clients appreciate what we do, and we're looking forward to having a lot of fun with our old friends and clients.
Tell us a little bit about how'd you come out of that? What did you learn from running for mayor?
I think the big takeaway for me is that two big takeaways. One is New York is a city of neighborhoods, and each one of these neighborhoods has different concerns and priorities about what's important to them. But at the same time, the second thing I learned is that they're all proud to be in New York, and they're all proud to be together. So I think if you're a tried and true New Yorker, you love the diversity of this place. And if I thought I loved New York City before I ran for office, I love it more. I love it more now.